You are now tuned into Then Radio. If you enjoy our videos, we ask that you consider joining our Patreon to support our channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you never miss a new video. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and as always, thank you for watching.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective, brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil, again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
C'est moi, sweetheart.
Oh, Sam, how did it go?
Well, it wasn't exactly a 10-in-1 outfit. More of a mud show, dog and pony type, you know, rag front.
Sam, what are you talking about?
Hmm?
And by the way, where were you last night?
I missed the last bus in from the Cow Palace, so I had to do a star pitch. Connie talk, Eth.
Oh, if you think I'm going to ask what a star pitch is, you're mistaken. What were you doing at the Cow Palace?
Oh, just bulling around.
Oh. Sam?
Yes?
Sam?
Yes?
Sam...
You ask too many questions. Sweetheart, in the patois of the carnival, I'll be right down to pitch my spiel my pitch, and make with the canvas on the Bluebeard Caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the Adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. Say, Mom, if the summer winds are making Junior's hair drier and mussier than it should be, why not borrow a little of Dad's Wild Root Cream Oil and restore that sweet, angelic look? You'll find Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic comes in handy for every member of the family. It grooms the hair so neatly and naturally, relieves that summer dryness, and removes loose dandruff, too. Better check on your supply right now. If it's running low, then tonight or tomorrow, first thing, get Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the Adventures of Sam Spade.
Ready, Effie?
Yes, Sam. By the way, what is a star pitch?
Hmm?
Oh, your clothes. You look as if you'd slept on the ground.
That's what it is. Date, August 8, 1948, to Detective Lieutenant Dundee, Homicide Detail, San Francisco Police. From Samuel Spade, license number 127596. Subject, the Bluebeard Caper. I will not offer as an extenuating circumstance the fact that business is bad all over. But it is true that I'd been sitting in my office for 4 hours and the phone had not rung once. This one didn't phone. From the looks of him, he didn't have the required nickel. But the hangover he was wearing under his eyes had cost someone a pretty penny, so I figured his credit might be good somewhere.
Mr. Spade?
Yeah?
Oh, my head.
Here. Try this.
Oh.
Want it mixed?
Oh, no soda. I couldn't stand the noise.
Where'd you wake up?
In these same clothes.
Figures.
It all started at my sister's engagement party. Mint juleps. They must have been full of flukum.
Flukum.
You don't happen to have an ice bag?
It's customary for my clients to bring their own.
Oh. Well, now here's a spiel. Did I tell you my name?
The name you gave my secretary was Ned Towers. You want to stick with that?
Yeah, Ned. Ned Towers, yeah. It's about my sister. She's...
Her name?
Sylvia.
Sylvia Towers.
Sylvia Towers, yeah. But it's not about her, really. It's about that Bluebeard. Bluebeard she's marrying. Jefferson Davis Calhoun.
What about him?
Oh, that marriage has got to be stopped. I found out that his name's not Calhoun at all, that he's been married 3 times under 3 different names, and that all his wives died mysteriously, and that he collected their insurance, and now he's talked my sister into insuring herself for $100,000 in his favor.
When did you learn all this?
In a barber shop yesterday.
Oh.
I went in to get a manicure, and I picked up this old detective magazine. Here's his picture. Look at it.
I had heard of the case. In his heyday, the papers had called him the Mint Julep Romeo. and any name he happened to be using at the time had Colonel in front of it. None of his 3 wives had survived the honeymoon. Wife number 1, an aviatrix, bailed out at 10,000 feet over Mount Hood along with her husband. His parachute opened, hers didn't. They found the body the following spring. Wife number 2, a snake dancer, died of snake bite when she squared off with a full-fanged diamondback instead of her usual non-poisonous partner. Cause of death was never officially proven because the body was embalmed by mistake, it said there, before the coroner arrived. And finally, number 3, a professional stunt woman, disappeared over Niagara Falls in a beer keg instead of her specially designed barrel and was never seen again.
Well, Mr. Spade?
Yeah, but are you sure your sister's fiance, this Calhoun, is the same guy?
Well, here's a picture of them together. Their engagement photograph. What do you think?
Brunette?
My sister? Redhead. That's him on the left.
Redhead? Well, Mr. Towers, are we going to sit idly by and see another poor girl go to her death? How much money you got?
About $100.
I'll take 50 now.
You are going to help.
How much does she already know?
I tried to tell her. She's beautiful. She wouldn't even listen. I thought she might listen to you.
I pray she will, Ned. I pray she will. There were 2 aspects of the case that I wanted to look over more closely. A, Sylvia's red hair, and B, the red splotches on my client's face. I had a hunch she might be suffering from more than a hangover. So I dropped him at the address of a medical friend of mine who specializes in poisons. He said the tests would take most of the afternoon, so I decided to find out who was Sylvia, what was she as kind as she was fair. Such a face as drifts through dreams.
Yes?
Yes.
I beg your pardon?
Miss Towers?
Yes, I'm Sylvia Towers. Are you the florist?
You're expecting maybe a detective?
Come in.
Thanks, I will.
Well, as a matter of fact, I wasn't expecting a florist or anyone else. But I'm glad to see you. I really am.
Huh?
Sit down here. I was just relaxing. Oh, no, over here.
Oh. Well, why not?
There. Isn't this more cozy? Take your hat off.
Oh.
You'll have me believing you really are a detective.
What do I look like?
Well, I'll have to mull it over. Now, don't tell me. Let me dream.
Look, Sylvia, Miss Powers, I mean.
Oh, Sylvia, I like the way you dress. Nice and casual.
Oh, you do?
But, you really should wear a handkerchief.
Hey.
You ticklish.
Well, look, if you want to frisk me, get it over with. It's your apartment. You got a right to.
Well, isn't this way nicer?
Sure, it's fine. It's just that, I just didn't expect. Just didn't expect.
Well, what do you want, a butterfly act?
No, it's just that my feelings are hurt. You haven't asked me who I am, what I'm doing here, anything.
Oh, I don't care. I like you.
Is this how you got engaged to Calhoun?
No, he was selling some phony stock certificates, so I bought a few.
They were phony, so you bought a few. Figures.
He'd had bad luck with marriage. It was the only way I could force the issue.
You're forcing him into marrying you?
Darling, don't be so critical. I did it very nicely.
I'm sure you did, but why?
Oh, I don't know. He's so courtly. A real Southern gentleman.
How real?
Hand me that cushion, darling.
Oh.
Oh, no, here, behind my head.
Oh.
Oh, that's better. Oh, don't go away.
Why do you want to be number 4 on the Bluebeard parade?
Oh, do you really think he did kill them?
Oh, that's one of 2 theories. He either did or he didn't.
Oh, I love your hair. So nice, bristly. Does this bother you?
Yeah, but don't stop. Now, wait a minute. Look, I got my client to think about, and I'm trying to think about it.
Darling.
I didn't want to take this assignment, but he really seemed to be worried about you.
Oh, now who on earth would be worried about me?
I'm a little worried about you myself, and I'm not even distantly related to you.
Well, don't say that yet. This marriage may not last long.
Don't you say that.
Oh, I know his marital life has been full of tragedy. But I'm not superstitious. I think I may change his luck.
Okay, Sylvia, okay, it's your life. I told your brother I'd talk to you, and I have.
My brother?
Yeah, Ned. I think maybe your boyfriend tried to poison him last night.
Oh, no.
Aha!
Oh, Jeff, you're just in time.
Well, my dear, we will discuss this further in private. I have only this to say at the present time. In the South, it is not customary for a lady to receive a gentleman alone just prior to her marriage to another gentleman.
But, Jeff...
I know your motives were pure and innocent. Customs differ, that's all. I am Colonel Calhoun at your service, sir.
I'll call you when I need you.
I'm afraid I must ask you to remain. Sylvia?
Oh, Jeff, I meant to tell you. It was just a flirtation.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
all.
think it...
You mean
Well, she didn't think.
he made certain proposals?
Well, what
Well,
could I do?
what could she do?
He said there were things in your past, Jeff.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Things that...
Oh, well, there, my dear.
It was blackmail.
That's all it was.
I did it for you, Jeff.
Go to your
did it for
chambers,
you.
Sylvia. I will deal with this adventurer. If this were the South, there would be better ways, but never fear. Where there's a Calhoun, there, too, you will find Southern chivalry.
Please.
No, Jeff. Phone the police.
Sylvia, I must insist that you do as I say.
Very well, Jeff. You know best.
Well, son, how about you and me putting our heads together over little old mint julep, huh?
Thanks, I'm not thirsty. What's the pitch, Colonel? How come your girlfriend yelled, "Hey, Rube," just now?
What is your asking price, sir?
What's your bid?
5,000 now, 5,000 after she's buried, 20,000 after the insurance people pays off.
No dice. Caper's worth $100,000. 50 for me, 50 for you.
That is out of the question, sir.
Okay, from here I go to the cops.
Now, son, let's not be hasty about this. It will require a slight change of plan, but I reckon I can swing it.
All right, 50-50. When are you going to knock her off?
You want her to fly the coop?
Is there another way out of here?
Well, not that I know of, but she's crafty.
She's crafty. Well, come on, let's get it over.
Yes, you're right. Maybe now or never.
That's right.
Sylvia?
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Come here.
What is it?
How are you going to do it?
Well, hit her with this and then out the window.
Let me see, then. Sure. That's got quite a heft to it. Where'd you get this sap?
Souvenir of Niagara Falls.
Know where you're going to get it?
Why, you Yankee!
The souvenir of Niagara Falls was deadlier than I thought. The blow spun him around like a top, and he went down on the other side of the room, taking the bar and the mint julep ingredients along with him. I headed for the room Sylvia had disappeared into. But she had already disappeared out of it. I looked in the closets, the bathroom, under the bed, tapped the walls for secret panels, and then forced myself to look out the only possible exit, the open window. 10 stories, sheer drop to the street. 2 stories, sheer unclimbable masonry to the roof. Now get this, Dundee. No other exit, no horizontal ledges, drain pipes, niches, cornices, not even a helicopter landing. I asked myself, who is Sylvia? What is she?
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead, socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. And no wonder. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves annoying dryness, and removes loose dandruff. What's more, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil is the only leading hair tonic that contains soothing lanolin. So ask for Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too. And mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Bluebeard Caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
There was no use wasting any time trying to figure out how Sylvia had done whatever she had done to escape from that escape-proof room. There was nothing of interest in it but a diving helmet, deep sea type, and the current issue of Billboard, a magazine which records the movements of show people. Under carnivals and tent shows, an item was circled. Colonel Carlisle's Colossal Carnival and Tent Show, which was currently playing San Francisco out by the Cow Palace. That reminded me of the Colonel in the next room. I went in to hit him again, but somehow his not being there didn't surprise me a bit. What I found on the roof did surprise me a little. It was a rope and grappling hook, human fly type, which fitted with the circusy aspect the caper was beginning to take on. But I'd never have taken Sylvia for a stunt woman. I did a deep knee bend to get into condition for what lay ahead, slid down the banister to the top floor, somersaulted into an elevator, and rode it down to the lobby, no hands. Pausing only to acknowledge the applause of the scrub woman, I skated on over to the phone booth. Sylvia's hands like the night.
Dr. Mandel's office.
Bernie, Sam Spade.
Oh, say, I'm glad you called, Sam. That patient you brought in here, Ned Towers?
Yeah, what about him?
Well, your hunch was right. There was enough poison in him to kill him twice.
Uh-huh.
And that ain't all.
He dead?
No.
Then what's all?
Well, his stomach had enough foreign objects in it to keep all the newspapers in town in Monday morning feature stories for the rest of the year.
What type foreign objects?
Oh, glassware, spoons, hunting knives. Well, nothing valuable.
Where'd you send him?
Oh, he wasn't a hospital case, Sam.
Enough poison to kill him twice, glassware, spoons, hunting knives, and not a hospital case, huh?
The poison, he's developed an immunity. The other stuff, it's harmless.
Harmless, huh?
Do you want me to send you the complete report?
No. Forget it, Bernie. You've given me enough. Thanks. From then on, Dundee, it was mostly entertainment. I headed for the carnival grounds outside the town, and Colonel Carlisle's Colossal Carnival and Tent Show unfolded before my very eyes just west of the Cow Palace.
Violations are brought to you in the interests of artistic endeavor. Mademoiselle Mahala, the favorite dancing girl of the Sultan of Zanzibar, brought direct from the perfume gardens of the Mystic Orient. Every muscle of a gorgeous body shakes.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of science and the furtherance of national defense, one of the medical miracles of the 20th century. Ladies and gentlemen, a man with the iron stomach and the asbestos esophagus, Professor Dilator. Professor, if you please, give the folks a sample of your control over the fiery element. I will light the torch and hand it to the professor. And now, Professor, if you will kindly...
The cooch dancer left me cold, but the fire-eating professor looked hot. It was none other than my client, the man who called himself Ned Towers. I moved as close to the platform as I could without setting fire to myself and caught his eye. When he caught mine, it singed my eyelashes.
Hey, scramble, I got my act to do. I can't talk to nobody.
Where's the colonel?
There ain't any colonel, just for the banner tacking.
Where's your sister?
I ain't got no sister.
Then who is Sylvia?
Hey, do me a favor, Shamus. Keep the 50 and forget the whole pitch. Now be it, huh?
Oh, I want to see the show.
Okay, you paid for your ducking. Stare your eyes out if you want to. Okay, butcher, start squawking. They're drifting away.
And, ladies and gentlemen, that was only a sample. Why, he eats the stone and throws the beach away. And he uses powdered poison on his soft-boiled eggs. Now, tell me, if you will, is there a doctor in the crowd? Because this is about the same time.
I drifted on down the midway. There was Boona Boona, Nature Boy, Gilda and Hilda, the Siamese twins. There was Shorty, the fat man, and Fatty, the short man, a bearded lady, and several natural freaks of nature. At the very end, there was a big canvas enclosure. The act was called the Three Death-Defying Darlings. From the noise inside, I judged that to be an understatement. I bought a ticket and got inside just in time to see a trim, energetic blonde in tailored coveralls crawl out of the twisted wreckage of the car she'd just driven point blank into a concrete wall at an advertised speed of 80 miles an hour. She took a bow, tripped lightly out of the ring, and a brunette about the same size and shape, but wearing a costume consisting mainly of 3 live rattlesnakes, passed her coming in. I swear she did. I also swear that she danced so well I didn't even notice the snakes after I got used to them. Before the lead snake had taken its final bow and wriggled out of sight, a redhead in green coveralls appeared at the top of a 60-foot tower. She climbed into a barrel, and some stupid fool pushed her off. The tank she landed in was no more than 3 feet across and couldn't have had more than a foot of water in it. But she emerged from the splinters with her face wet and some of the greasy carnival-type makeup washed off. The red-headed branch of the death-defying darlings was, you guessed it, that miraculous escape artist, the one and only Sylvia. I was anxious to meet the rest of the act, so I vaulted over the canvas to their trailer dressing room. There was a sinister buzzing sound at my ankles as I entered. I jumped out of the way just in time to miss getting bitten by one of the brunette's dancing partners, the Diamondback. Sylvia looked at me pityingly, grabbed it expertly just behind the head, and shoved it down into its basket.
Sam, you should have known better than to come in here unannounced. Strangers make Salome terribly nervous.
Then we're even.
How did you know I was here?
I didn't. I was looking for my client.
Then you are working for Ned.
Who else?
Well, when I heard you bargaining with Jeff, I didn't know what to think. Before that, I'd been so sure.
Look, sweetheart, I haven't been sure of anything in this caper from the start, least of all you. No matter how sure I get, I still won't believe it.
Look at me, Sam. Touch me. I'm only flesh and blood.
Yeah, well, anyhow, how did you meet yourself coming on with the snakes when you went out in the coveralls?
Oh, zippers. I was wearing the snakes underneath all the time.
Snakes? Doesn't the auto crash make them nervous?
Oh, no. They're used to it. Mother trained them. That was after Father...
Never mind your family. Let's talk about you. All 3 of you.
Well, after Mother and Father... Well, the act was a threesome, you see, and they wouldn't keep me on as a single.
Yeah?
So Jeff Calhoun worked out a routine so only one of me would be on at one time.
That figures. How often do you come out of it alive?
You mustn't say things like that, even in joking. I'm terribly out of condition. I haven't had a real workout since...
Since you went over Niagara Falls in that beer keg? And by the way, how did you manage that?
It's simple. Relaxation. Secret of everything. I could teach you that, Sam, darling.
Hmm.
Jeff could never learn it.
How long do you think we'd get away with it, sweetheart?
Aren't you taking rather a lot for granted?
Maybe not enough. So far as I know, you've only been killed and resurrected 3 times.
Darling, if it frightens you, I promise I'll never do it again.
How did you drop 10,000 feet without a parachute?
Oh, that Mount Hood stunt? I crash-landed the plane, set fire to it.
There were witnesses. Something dropped.
Oh, nothing but a weighted flight suit.
Whose body was that they found?
There are always bodies when the snow melts. By the time they get to them, they could be anybody.
Oh, that's a relief. What about that other body?
Which other one, darling?
When you were embalmed after the snake bite.
Oh. Well, Jeff just claimed somebody from the morgue that nobody else wanted. Don't be so critical, darling. We didn't hurt anybody.
Better not try to tell that to those insurance companies.
Well, they should be happy. Jeff says it helps them with their taxes.
Does it make you happy? Dying and being dug up every year or so?
Well, it's better than doing it every night. But I couldn't go back to Jeff. He lost his nerve after Ned found out. You see, Ned's the only one left who knew me in the old days. If I were dead, he couldn't prove anything. Jeff really meant to kill me this time.
What was Ned after? Blackmail?
Oh, no, he wanted me back with the show. He hired you to frighten Jeff into letting me go. After all, I am the best threesome in the business. Well, anyway, in the stunt field. Did you see my review in Billboard?
I saw for myself.
You know something? I was thinking. With all you know about crime...
Don't say it.
But, darling, it's so easy. And we could have a honeymoon every time I came back and we got married again.
Thanks for the offer, but if I get married, I want my wife to stay alive every night.
But I wouldn't really be dead. Only legally for the insurance. Only legally, Sam.
Come here.
Sam, darling.
Look, sweetheart, let's not relax. You're not safe. Not as long as that insurance policy's floating around with Jeff's name on it as beneficiary.
He'd never think of looking for me here.
Well, the same. You better take that policy into town in the morning and make some changes. Where is it?
Oh, it's in my safe.
You got a safe here in this trailer?
Well, it's just a secret place. I only call it a safe. But it is safe.
Dear, I thought I'd find you here. But I hardly expected to see Mr. Spade.
You don't surprise me a bit, Bluebeard.
Hello, Jeff. Sit down and stop waving that revolver. What do you want?
That policy. I heard every word you two have been saying. Not that that piece of paper means anything. You won't even be around when the bank's open. But having the original policy in my hand will save a lot of delay, red tape.
Of course, Jeff.
Where is it?
Oh, what's the use? It's in the basket, right by the side of your chair.
Wait a minute.
Don't move, Spade. If you do, I'll blast you.
Listen to me. Don't raise
so
that
this is
lid.
your safe. Still a child, aren't you, Sylvia?
Don't do it, Calhoun. Don't do it. And that, Lieutenant Deere, took the lid right off of the caper. Due to my Boy Scout training, my split-second timing, and the fact that Salome's fang missed an artery by a 30th of an inch, I understand Calhoun will live long enough, which, as far as I'm concerned, is any length of time you care to name. About Sylvia, I really don't know how to advise you there, but if you're planning on charging her with attempted homicide, you'll find that there are 3 Darling sisters listed as U.S. citizens and residents of California. It might be hard to figure out which one of her to indict. Period. End of Nightmare Alley, Bluebeard Division. Any questions, F?
Oh, just one, Sam. A grammatical error, but I'll correct it.
And just whom do you think you are to be correcting my grammar?
Who, Sam? Nominative case.
Nominal.
Nominative, Sam. The most frequently used cases in English are nominative, accusative, and possessive. Now, I'm referring to your sentence which reads, it might be hard to figure out which one of her to indict.
Yeah.
Of course, you meant them, since there are 3 Darling sisters. Her being singular.
Indeed, her was singular, Effie.
Oh, Sam, you made a joke.
That's a very small one. Now, type that up and leave my grammar as is. It's colorful.
Oh, very well, Sam. I'll just fix the syntax as I go along.
Syntax? In California?
Say, are you looking for a hair tonic that will groom your hair neatly and naturally? Then you're looking for Wild Root Cream Oil. Want a hair tonic that relieves annoying dryness? Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Like a hair tonic that removes loose, ugly dandruff? The answer again is Wild Root Cream Oil, the famous hair tonic that gives you the big advantages men consider most important. Step up to your drug or toilet goods counter first chance you get and ask for Wild Root Cream Oil in the big economy bottle and the handy new tube that's easy to pack when you travel. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil hair tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Quite right. She was only one girl, so I left it to her and made the correction back farther.
Back where,
The
Twinkle
sentence
Toes?
just prior.
Hmm?
Twinkle Toes.
Hmm.
You know, where you said 3 Darling sisters, I changed it to 1.
That's impossible. It takes 2 to make a sister.
That is not funny, Sam.
Who's laughing?
It's no laughing matter, Sam. After all, that Sylvia, the Darling sister, whatever she's... And I don't care if she can go over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Let's get it right, F. Beer keg.
In fact, the only funny thing is you being taken in. After all, snake charmers of that type are a dime a dozen.
Oh, here's 20 cents. Phone up that place.
What place?
Where you get the red-headed snake charmers, 12 for 10 cents.
Dime a dozen, Sam. It's a figment of speech.
You can say that again, sweetheart.
Pretending to be 3 people, all with different hair, and wearing snakes under a coverall.
Now, Effie.
No normal girl would do that, Sam.
I don't know. Women do all kinds of work.
Oh, Sam. Why can't I be an adventuress like some girls are?
I wouldn't trade you for 30 cents worth of snake charmers.
Oh, Sam. That's the nicest thing you ever said.
Well, next to the nicest.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Salome.
Twinkle toes.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tolman and Gil Dowd, with musical direction by Lud Gluskin. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil, again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
It's only me from over the sea.
Oh, Sam, how was it at the beach?
Same as always, foggy.
Did you go in?
Well, I was up to my neck from the first rumble. If you mean did I go in the water, I did.
Was it cold?
I didn't notice. I was too busy landing a corpse.
Oh, Sam, what a coincidence. I was just reading my new library book.
Yeah?
And it's all about a body in the water, pushed over a cliff. And there's a strangest girl in it with a strange mother.
Figures.
And she drinks, the girl, and runs away with a chauffeur. That rich people.
They can't do that. They're stealing my material.
Oh, no, Sam, no. It's by Owen Fitzstephen. He's very well thought of. Mother always understands his plot.
Not tonight, she won't. Stay where you are, Angel. I'll be right down to dictate my report on the critical author caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. You know as well as I do, fellas, your hair is one of the first things any gal notices. So it's really important to keep your hair spruced up right all the time. The answer? Why, of course. Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. I have a hunch, fellas, she'll help herself to another look if you're using Wild Root. Get Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic in bottles or the handy new tube. It's again and again the choice of men who put good grooming first. Later in this program, we'll have an important announcement. Listen for it. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
I'm looking over the phone.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, come on in. Let's get this over with.
Oh, can you wait till I finish this chapter? There's a page to go. The detective had just found this girl in a sordid rooming house. He had this fight with her boyfriend and boinged him.
Boinged him?
And now butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. But I don't trust her.
What's the name of the book?
Morgue Fruit.
Morgue Fruit.
His last was a spindly stiff. That was about this neurotic nurse who was in love with her employer.
Effie, how long have you been reading this kind of trash?
What's not trash, Sam? Oh, he really makes his characters live. And I love his detective. He's real hard-boiled, like in Dashiell Hammett.
Dashiell, damn it. Mark your place and come in.
All right, Sam.
Oh, dear. Ready?
Yes, Sam. Oh, I can hardly wait.
That's the way I like you, eager.
To finish the chapter, I mean.
Please.
I wonder what she's up to. She's guilty, of course.
Of course, but what of?
You can read it when I'm finished. Oh, my goodness, we've got a report to get out, and here we are chattering about books. Date, August?
I will give the date.
Yes, Sam.
Date? Fill it in. To Missing Persons Bureau, San Francisco Police. Attention, Sergeant Schwartz from Samuel Spade, license number 137596. Subject, Gabriel Leggett. Dear Dave, I should have handed it over to you at the start, but you know me, I'm greedy. I cashed the check she'd sent me as a retainer without consulting my better judgment. Gave the money to Effie to pay bills without batting an eye. Borrowed a dime car fare from the corner newsboy without collateral. And arrived in front of the Leggett Mansion on Nob Hill without the foggiest notion of what I had been retained for.
I'm Gertrude Leggett, Mr. Spade. It's about my stepdaughter, Gabrielle. She's been missing since the funeral.
Whose funeral was that, Mrs. Leggett?
My husband, Gabrielle's father. That was nearly 3 weeks ago. She came to me afterwards and said she was going down to Quesada, to our country place, for a few days, that she wanted to be alone with her grief. But I discovered that she never arrived at Quesada. Do I make myself clear, Mr. Spade?
Yeah, except for one thing. Why do you want her back?
First, she may do something to disgrace me. She'll undoubtedly try her best to do so. Secondly, unless I get her signature to some papers, in accordance with her father's will, I can't go on living in this house. Furthermore...
That's okay. You've convinced me. Now, when she left, what did she take with her?
Just one piece of light luggage, and her liquor case, of course. She drinks, you know. Well, it's not my place to disapprove. I merely thought it might help you to know.
Well, we could case all the bars in town, but it'd take a lot of time and a lot of money, besides them on the wagon.
Well, you might talk to Eric, my chauffeur. He drove her to the station, or says he did.
Where do I find him?
Let's see. 10 o'clock. He'll be loitering down the hall somewhere in the neighborhood of the linen closet, helping the upstairs maid fold the sheets. I'd knock first if I were you and avoid embarrassment.
Thanks for the tip. Oh, mind if I have a look at your stepdaughter's room?
Eric will give you the key. I'm not allowed one.
Figures.
Oh, baby. Excuse me, sir. Thank you for your kind assistance, Mr. Collins.
It's okay, Myrtle. Anytime. Yes, sir.
You Eric?
Collinson, what can I do for you?
I'd like the key to Miss Gabrielle's room.
You the law?
Why? You expecting some?
The old lady's been threatening to yell cop.
She decided to whisper instead.
Oh, private dick.
You catch on fast, lover boy.
Okay, I'll let you in her room. Come on.
Mrs. Leggett says you drove Gabrielle to the station.
She says that, does she?
Isn't that what you told her?
I'm not telling you what I told anyone.
Suit yourself.
After you.
Mm-mm.
What's eating you?
Nothing at all. Just want some privacy.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I'm responsible.
Go help Myrtle. Give me those keys.
Oh, listen. You keep...
Blow.
Hi, let me in. Still have your license?
Her room was, shall we say, untidy. The mirrored dressing table was chipped around the edges, and ranged helter-skelter across it between two polo pony bookends was a mess of books. 3 odd volumes of the Harvard 5-foot shelf, a horse breeder's gazette, and a bunch of detective novels. I picked one up and opened it to the title page. It was called Morgue Fruit, and it was by Owen Fitzstephen, author of The Corpulent Cadaver, The Spindly Stiff, and The Kiss-Off. It was autographed to the author's great and good friend, the late Edgar Leggett. The signature looked familiar, but it didn't look like a lead. Neither did anything else in the room. I started to unlock the door with the key on the ring I'd grabbed away from Eric, and the light caught the smooth side of a Christopher medal. It was engraved for Eric, forever, Gabby. When Forever Eric went off duty that night, he went across town. The trail ended at a crummy, broken-down rooming house out in the Fillmore. He let himself in with a key and climbed the stairs. I waited until he was out of sight. In more time than it takes to tell, the door cracked open, and a nose that could only belong to a landlady razored out at me. She was gumming a sen-sen.
What you want?
They get settled in all right?
They ain't nobody settling in on me.
Never touched me. You got me wrong, Mom. I meant the newlyweds. Did they raise the rent money all right?
Oh, them. Raise it and spend it. He's a Dick Smither.
Dick Smither.
Stocks it up all day and throws the dead soldiers out the window. And they call it a honeymoon. Who are you?
I'm her ex-husband, darling. I came to pay her the back alimony I owe her.
Well, give it to me. I'll see she gets it.
Oh, no, you don't.
No, don't you come pushing in here.
Quiet.
It's after hours. Don't allow callers in here after 10 o'clock. House rule.
Shut up.
Well, I don't.
What's their room number? Now, give it to me or I'll shake it out of you, darling.
212.
212.
And if it weren't for these new uppers, I'd let you try it.
Oh, is that what those are? Thank you, Grand Duchess Marie.
Smart Alec. No wonder you can't hang on to a woman.
You're so right.
You drove her to drink.
I did not.
Alimony's still good for you, young whippersnapper.
Who is it?
Western Union.
All right, let me... I told you to stay away. Now beat it.
Eric, what is it?
Look, Eric, I don't want any trouble, but I'm coming in.
Over my dead body.
Eric?
Get back in the room, Gabby. Now, look, I won't let you hurt her, so...
Now,
so
look,
help...
Collinson, don't make
no,
me do it. I don't want to. Okay, I'm sorry.
Eric! What have you done to him?
Nothing a bucket of cold water can't cure. Sit down. I want to talk to you.
Who are you?
Sam Spade. I'm a private detective. Your stepmother hired me to find you.
Oh? You know why she wants to find me?
Do you?
She wants to kill me. She killed my father, now she'll kill me.
Can you prove that?
My father never had a day's illness in his life. He could drink 3 quarts of brandy in any evening.
Do you believe a man like that could die of heart failure?
Frankly, I could.
Now she's starting the same kind of talk about me. She wants to railroad me to the insane asylum. Do I seem crazy to you?
No. A little nervous, maybe. This idea you have about your father's death. Talk some more, will you?
All right. I'll tell you the whole thing. But I gotta have a drink first. Hey, I can't get the top off. Give me a hand, will you?
Sure. You need a corkscrew for this one.
Yeah, I think there's one down there in the cupboard.
I don't see one.
Back in the corner. A little farther. There.
No, there's nothing in... Hey! Oh. I dreamed I was a character in a detective story. The title of the story was Morgue Fruit, and the author, a man named Fitzstephen, was trying to figure out a way to turn me into a red herring before knocking off his number one suspect. I tried to tell him it's against the rules to make your detective a red herring, but he said it was a new kind of murder yarn, and it didn't matter anyway because there wasn't even a victim. That's what he thought.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. And here's the announcement we promised you. Now you can get Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, in a generous new 25-cent size on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too, and mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the critical author caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
When I came to, it had came the dawn, and I was still a character in a detective story, and I felt more like a red herring than I had in my dream. I had dragged myself across my own trail and wound up no place. My quarry had fled, leaving nothing behind but empty bottles with fingerprints on them. I lifted the few and hustled over to the Bureau of Identification. Half an hour later, I got the report. They were mine. All mine. I wondered what a detective novelist would make of that. I decided to find out. I had met Owen Fitzstephen several years back in Seattle when I was digging dirt on a chain of fake mediums. He was plowing the same field for literary material, and we pooled forces. I got more out of the combination than he did since he knew the spook racket inside out. I cleaned up my job in a couple of weeks, and we parted friends. His San Francisco apartment was on the 6th floor of the St. Mark. He was standing at its door, holding out a lean hand to greet me when I got there.
Well, you're looking fit, Sam. Little red in the face.
Yeah, it's the red herring I ate last night. How's the literary grift go?
You haven't been reading me?
No, where'd you get that funny idea?
Oh, there was something in your tone, as in the voice of one who has bought an author for a couple of dollars. I suppose you're still hounding the unfortunate evildoer?
Yeah, that's how I happened to look you up. You autographed a book for Edgar Leggett.
Oh, yes. Morgue Fruit. Distressingly prophetic.
What do you know about that family?
Oh, what have they been up to now?
How well you know the girl, Gabrielle?
Well, quite well, since she's a duplicate of her father. She has brains, but there's something black in her. Something she doesn't want to think about but can't forget. She's a neurotic who keeps her body sensitive and ready. I don't know what for. While she drugs her mind with drink and lunatic notions. Yet she's cold and she's sane. If I had something I wanted to forget, I'd anesthetize my mind directly, leave my body stay strong and ready.
I hope you don't think any of this stuff means anything to me.
Oh, yes. I remember you now. You were always like that. Tell me what's up while I try to find one-syllable words for you.
You know the fellow that drives for him?
Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was released from Folsom and Leggett's custody when he was 18 years old. Murdered his father. Nice kid. What about him?
Mrs. Leggett hired me to find Gabrielle. I found her with Eric in a rooming house out in the Fillmore. She begged me to save her from her stepmother's murderous schemes, then she knocked me cold.
Well, that's trivial, dull. I've been thinking of the Leggett family in terms of Dumas, and you bring me a piece of Jim Crackery out of O. Henry. If I were writing this, Gabrielle would kill her stepmother, or dupe Eric into doing it for her. No, that won't do. Not sufficient motive. Murder has to have a motive, you know.
Why? She's insane, isn't she?
I wonder. Are you saying that carelessly, or do you really think she's off?
Well, I don't know. She's got a kind of a wild look about her. Her eyes shift from green to brown and back without ever settling on one color. How much have you turned up on her in your snooping around, Owen?
Are you who make your living snooping, sneering at my curiosity about people and my attempts to satisfy it?
No, we're different, Owen. I do mine with the object of putting people in jail, and I get paid for it, though not as much as I should.
But I do mine with the object of putting people in books, and I get paid for it, though not as much as I should.
Yeah, but what good does that do?
Well, what good does putting them in jail do?
Well, relieves congestion. You put enough people in jail, and cities wouldn't have any traffic problems, n'est-ce pas?
Well, then all you have to do is to wait till one of them kills the other and put the survivor in jail. It's simple.
Yeah, but who's going to kill who?
Perhaps they both have plans, both Gabrielle and her stepmother. Looks as if you'd have to guard both of them.
I think I'll settle for my client. As far as Gabrielle's concerned, her husband ought to be able to watch out for her.
Her what?
Husband. She and Eric got married.
Oh. Well, now there you are. You didn't tell me anything about that. Lord knows how much else there is you haven't told me. Pardon me. Don't go away.
Telegram. Sign here.
Oh, thank you. There you are.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I wonder what... Good Lord, this is positively corny. Listen to this, Spade. I appeal to you as a friend of my dead husband. Come immediately, Sunset Hotel, Quesada. Trouble, danger. Do not communicate. Gabrielle must not know. Signed, Gertrude Leggett. Spade.
Yeah?
Did you have this wire sent to me as a prank?
I was just going to ask you if you sent it to yourself as a prank.
I have it. The key to the whole thing. It's a red herring.
I didn't think Fitzstephen would be able to hold out very long against his professional curiosity, and I didn't imagine he thought I would. I caught the next bus for Quesada. Quesada is a one-hotel town pasted on the rocky side of a young mountain that slopes into the Pacific Ocean some 80 miles from San Francisco. I got there at 11-something that night, stepped down from the bus, and crossed the street to the Sunset Hotel.
All right. Keep your shirt on.
Mrs. Leggett registered here?
What's your name?
Owen Fitzstephen.
Oh, she left a message for you. Said for you to wait right here and don't leave till she gets back.
Yeah, she say where she was going?
Oh, it's probably over visiting with her daughter and new son-in-law, new over through the cove.
How do you get there?
Well, you'll never be able to find it at night unless you went all the way around by the East Road. Not then, I'm sure, unless you knew the country.
Well, how do you get there in the daytime?
Well, you go down this street. You take the fork on the ocean side and follow that up along the cliff. Easily enough found in the daytime, but you never in the world. You won't be able to find it.
Okay, heard you the first time. So I waited until morning. Stupid me. I found the road out to the point, but it had never really been a road. The side of the ledge became steeper and steeper until the path was simply a narrow shelf on the face of the cliff. The cliff that sheared off 150 feet or more to ravel out into the ocean. A breeze from the general direction of China was pushing fog over the top of the cliff, making a noisy lather of seawater at the bottom. Rounding a corner where the cliff was steepest, I chucked my cigarette over the edge and watched it spin downwards. And that's when I saw it. I had to go waist deep into the Pacific to lift the body. I got my hands under the armpits, found solid ground for my feet, and dragged it up beyond the high tide mark. It was Gertrude Leggett. Somebody came staggering down the beach to meet us.
She dead?
Yeah, Gabrielle, she's dead.
Oh, the witch is dead. Hey, take me back to town, will you? Buy me a drink, huh?
Sit down there. Sit down.
What's the big idea? Don't you know I'm sick?
Somehow I don't think you're that sick. I think you could make some sense.
Sense? That's a laugh. You don't know me. I've never been able to think clearly the way other people do. No matter what I try to think about, there's a fog that tries to get between me and it. You understand how horrible I can become? Going through life like
Nuts.
that?
Nobody thinks clearly, no matter what they pretend. Thinking's a dizzy business. A matter of catching as many of those foggy glimpses as you can and fitting them together the best you can. Trouble with you is you've been enjoying your misery. You've been so busy trying to prove that you're nuts, it's a wonder you haven't really driven yourself nuts.
How do you know I haven't?
Because you're too anxious to admit it.
All right, I'm sane if you want it that way. I'm just evil. There's something black inside me.
What was that again?
Something black. Everybody knows that about my family. My father, too.
Who told you that?
I always knew it. They say my real mother killed herself. But I know better. I know how to open the drawer where she keeps the gun. Every day, Gertrude lies on Mother's bed, and we play Killing the Witch.
Yeah.
And she comes in the night and bends over my crib. And she's changed herself so she looks like Mother instead of the witch. But I know better, and I hold up the gun with both hands. Very hard to pull with both hands. It's very hard to pull the trigger. But I must do it or the witch will eat me up. And then there's a big noise and red all over. And I can't get out. I can't get out.
Now listen to me. You were beginning to make some sense. Now don't run away from it. Gertrude was lying on your mother's bed. That's your stepmother?
Yeah. She was my nurse. She married Father.
Not so fast. How old were you when your mother died?
4. 4.5.
Did your father know about the game with the gun?
No, I don't think so.
Did anybody?
Gertrude said I must never tell anyone, because they'd send me away. And I never did. Not till I grew up. I was with Owen Fitzstephen.
Yeah.
I had a lot to drink. I told him. After that, he began seeing Gertrude. When finally my father died. But it didn't do her any good, because Owen really loved me.
Now, watch it. Now, let's get this straight. You'll have to straighten it out again later on with a doctor to help you. This is to help me. When you were a little child, Gertrude taught you that killing the witch game to use you as a murder weapon against your mother. Then she filled you full of ideas of guilt and fear so you'd keep quiet about it. When you told the story to Owen, he blackmailed your stepmother into knocking off your father. That made you feel responsible for his death, too, so you ran away.
Now Gertrude's dead. I killed her, too.
You might, but I doubt it. Now, try and remember. Was Owen up here tonight?
I thought I heard his voice. But I hear voices sometimes. I'm hearing it again. Listen. Do you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything but the wind and the beat of the surf at first. But when I did hear the voice, I sent Gabby for a doctor before I investigated. He was pretty badly mangled in the rocks. He'd fallen nearly as far as he'd pushed Gertrude, but was still alive. I made him as comfortable as I could, and finally he opened his eyes.
Hello, Sam.
You messed yourself up good.
Yeah. No more rocks for me.
Not unless you make Alcatraz.
You know, I had half an idea when you came to see me in San Francisco that you were secretly nursing some exceptional, idiotic theory.
Thanks, Owen, but I never had any theory. The whole thing dropped into my lap.
Don't be too sure of that. Understand, at present, I admit nothing. Later on, if I'm forced to, the very number of my crimes will be to my advantage. On the theory that nobody but a lunatic could have committed so many.
Oh, there's not so many. Only Gertrude, your co-author of the murder of the late Edgar Leggett.
Nonsense. Crimes and crimes dating from the cradle. Even literature shall help me.
Not your own books.
Why not? Didn't the critics agree that the spindly stiff bore all the marks of authorial degeneracy? Evidence, son, to save my sweet neck. And I shall wave my mangled body at them. A ruin whose crimes and high heaven have surely brought sufficient punishment upon it.
Yeah, you'll probably make a go of it. Legally, you're entitled to beat the jump if ever anybody was.
Legally? You mean insane? Tell me the truth, Sam. Am I?
I think that's what they'll say.
But that spoils everything. It's no fun if I'm really cracked. No fun at all.
Period and a report.
Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it?
Now, there you go again, Effie.
I mean, if anything like that happened in real life, you wouldn't believe it.
You mean if anything like that happened in fiction?
Oh, no, the author is never the guilty party.
Well, this author was.
But that's not fair. The author is never supposed to be guilty of...
You're right. You're right, Effie.
He shouldn't be even a suspect. Maybe a red herring, but...
Type that up, Effie.
Oh, all right, Sam. Anything else, Sam?
Yeah, phone the drugstore and order some red herring. I mean, some aspirin.
More and more folks are turning to famous Wild Root Cream Oil every day. Wild Root Cream Oil gives you all you ever dreamed of in a hair tonic. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally, the way you like it, the way other people like it. What's more, Wild Root Cream Oil relieves dryness and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So join the millions with handsome hair. Tonight, or first thing tomorrow, ask at your drug or toilet goods counter for Wild Root Cream Oil. Also, ask your barber for a professional application. If you've never tried it before, get the generous new 25-cent bottle just introduced. It's Wild Root Cream Oil's Get Acquainted size, and once you've made the acquaintance of Wild Root Cream Oil, you'll find you've made a lifelong friend.
Come on in, Twinkletoes.
Well, here it is, Sam. And I liked it even better than morgue fruit.
You did.
I mean, it's not so realistic. I like a romantic type story myself.
You
Lots
do.
of atmosphere and psychology and those.
Oh, you've got to have those.
You really should be a writer, Sam.
You think so?
Of course, detective stories don't pay much.
No, that's
But
true.
if you write enough of them, and look at all the material you've got.
No good. Never do for fiction.
But, Sam, there's already that radio series, The Adventures of You-Know-Who, Sunday nights.
That's what I mean. I don't make a penny out of it.
Well, it's your own fault. Sam, I don't want to seem critical, but if you played your cards right, you could have owned a piece of that show.
What? And follow Blondie? Go home, Effie.
I think I will, Sam, and just curl up with a good book.
All right.
I wonder who killed who.
Well, when you find out, don't let me know.
Oh, you know you can't wait.
No, yes, I can.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction is by Lud Gluskin, with score composed by Renee Garrigang. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade, brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
Get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie, keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
That is the correct answer. You have just won $104 million, 6 deep freeze units, a stable of polo ponies with matching saddle soap, a terry cloth robe with chocolate bars pre-melted into the pockets, and a full-size, real, honest-to-goodness dreadnought, such as is used by Uncle Sam's Navy.
Oh, I'm sorry you'll have to call back. I'm expecting to be taking dictation for my employer very shortly.
Oh, I am sorry. Your time is up. And Edna St. Vincent Markowitz, who sent in the question, gets bumped off in front of the studio audience gathered in the Dredgewood room here in Columbia Square. Next night, don't answer your phone, stupid.
Oh, Sam.
Let's have no coaching, please.
Oh, well, did you find the cup? Was it murder? Was it really worth, well, you know, priceless and like that, and was it fun?
Yes, and no. And finally, are you kidding?
Well, then why was it called the Vaphio Cup?
It's a very old Greek expression, which is what I'll be wearing as I sit in your lap dictating my report on the Vaphio Cup Caper.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the Adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. Remember the Romeo of yesteryear? Hair parted in the middle, all plastered down? Man, what a difference today. Today, all a guy has to do to impress a gal is use Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose dandruff. If you're still using old-fashioned hair tonics or none at all, then for her sake, spruce up today with Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. In bottles or the handy new tube, it's again and again the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the Adventures of Sam Spade.
Blow the man down, police, blow the man down. Now, why do they want to blow the man down? Date, August 22nd, 1948, to Jethro Chiswick, Esquire.
Oh, spelling, Sam.
E-S-Q-U.
No, Sam, I meant the name. It's, Chisro Jethwick.
I did not say Chisro Jethwick. I said Jethro Chithwick. I mean, Chithro... look, we'll check it later.
Oh, Sam, it might... I have an uncle in Berkeley named Smithwick.
Leave your family out of this, Eph.
But he's only by marriage, Sam. It's quite a common name.
Name 3 people named Chiswick.
No, Smithwick, Sam. Now, let's see. There's Uncle George and Aunt Amelia by a previous marriage. Then there's my cousin Rupert on the Christie side.
When you have finished ruminating amongst the foliage of your family tree, Miss Perrine.
Well, I only mentioned it in
All
connection
right,
with that name
we'll
that you
start
thought you...
all over again. Tear out that page.
Yes, Your Highness.
No, please. No need to curtsy. To Jethro Chiswick, no comment, please. From Samuel Spade, license number 1375596. What's that?
Nothing, Sam, nothing. Throat.
Subject, the Vaphio Cup Caper. Dear Commodore, that's the way I like you. Meek. I had always considered myself fairly well-versed in the subject of cups, but if anybody had told me there was such a thing as a Vaphio Cup, they could have knocked me over with one, which they did.
Mr. Spade?
Yeah.
I'm Chester A. Brody. I talked with your secretary on the phone. Do you follow?
Oh, yes, Mr. Brody. Sit down. Rest your package.
Thank you. I prefer to hold it for the time being. My card, sir.
Theophilus and Brody, importers and exporters. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Theophilus is my partner, Dmitri Theophilus. You follow?
I follow.
It was Mr. Theophilus who brought the Vaphio Cup into the firm. I furnished the cash capital.
Vaphio Cup. I do not follow.
Yes, indeed. The only one of these treasures to fall into private hands. One of the fabulous Vaphio cups. Those exquisite and cunningly wrought examples of the art of the ancient Grecian goldsmith, excavated by the great Schliemann from a beehive tomb in Sparta.
Beehive.
Mycenaean age. Just west of the Lion Gate.
Oh, the Lion Gate. Pardon me, Mr. Brody. Are you trying to tell me that this cup is very valuable?
Priceless.
And that you will finally manage to find a buyer?
Do you follow?
And that you want me to deliver that package containing your priceless cup and return with your customer's cash?
Accurately put. I presume you're bonded.
Uncork me and see for yourself.
You are a droll fellow, to be sure.
I had a light breakfast, drolls and coffee. Now, what is this Vaphio cup?
I will show it to you. You're about to see a treasure but few eyes have looked upon in our time, Mr. Spade. The Vaphio cup. Handle it carefully. It's fragile. You could crush it in your hand like so much tinfoil. Yet this golden relic of a golden age has come down through the centuries miraculously unscathed. Note the delicately wrought lines of the bas-relief, the exquisite draperies on the figure of the caryatid, the anguish on the face of the fallen hunter, the sheer brute force of the wild boar charging to the kill. Holding this golden cup in your hands, you encompass 3,000 years. Do you comprehend why there's no question of insurance here?
Frankly, I don't.
My dear man, an item such as this is worth only as much as a collector will pay for it. This particular collector has offered $200,000. It might never be offered again. You follow?
I follow.
Very well. Here's your fee, $100.
I follow.
And here is the address of my client in Los Angeles, Commodore Jethro Chiswick.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
You will take the noon train. Any questions?
Yeah, why can't I go on a plane?
Because I've placed an item in this afternoon's papers to the effect that the treasure is to be transported by plane.
If I were a gonif and I read that item, I'd take the train.
That would be your first thought. Then you would think they're saying they're taking the plane to make me think they're taking the train. Therefore, you would take the plane after all. Oh, would you? If you were really clever, you might say they're taking the plane to make one think it's the train, so I'll take the plane after all, and therefore...
Never mind. By this time, he's decided on the bus. The train is perfectly safe.
You follow?
The package was light in the drawing room, and the train was comfortable. Seemed like an easy way to earn $100. I knew it wouldn't last. Never does. I was prepared for the knock on the door, and I got ready for the inevitable small, dark man who plays the Peter Lorre part, but this one fooled me. He was a tall, thin actor with sandy hair.
Okay, Shamus, hand over the package. It won't be no trouble.
Sure, there it is on the seat. Take it.
Huh?
It's okay. You got me covered. I won't make any move.
Hey, what are you trying to pull?
It's a stick-up, isn't it?
Hey, maybe I got the wrong compartment.
No, that's it. The cup's in there. Unwrap it and see for yourself.
Oh, no, you don't. I ain't picking up no booby traps.
Oh, you're yellow, huh?
I know that one, too. Don't cut no ice for me.
Suit yourself. Game of gin?
Hey, you're nuts. I'm getting out of here.
Hey, wait a minute, pal. I'll buy you a drink.
I don't drink.
Lunch?
In I go.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Spade. I agree. Clarence is a very comical fellow.
So are you.
I took the liberty of stepping into your forecastle whilst you had your bit of raillery in the after companionway with my mate, dear Clarence. You mind?
Not at all.
Well, sir, I'm afraid you're going to mind a great deal.
Oh!
And that's how I met you, Commodore. I was so busy sizing up the .45 in your right hand that I didn't even notice when your left whipped out of your coat pocket with one of the largest saps I have ever felt. The next time I saw light, you were gone, the Vaphio Cup was gone, and the train was pulling into San Jose. I got off, rode back to San Francisco with a truckload of chickens, and headed straight for my client's apartment.
You got here quick.
Yeah,
Come in.
thanks. Well?
Well, what?
Look, we can't both play this deadpan. We'll stay no place.
It's in the back room.
What is?
The body. You're from the police, aren't you?
I'm a private dick.
How dare you?
Hey, what was that for?
For spying on me. You and all the other cheap gumshoes my husband hires.
You're Mrs. Brody?
I'm Enid Theophilus. Did my husband hire you?
My name is Sam Spade. I was hired by one Chester A. Brody, your husband's business partner.
Well, Sam, I hope he paid you in advance, because he's the body.
Chester A. Brody was just barely identifiable. Somebody had worked hard trying to persuade him to say or do something he either couldn't or wouldn't do. The only interesting clue was in the wastebasket. At first, I thought it was a flattened beer can. But it was the Vaphio Cup, or a facsimile thereof.
Well, how do you like it, Sam?
I don't. He was my client. I wasn't hired to protect him. I didn't like him, but he was my client.
How would you like me for a client?
I'll give you the name of a lawyer, sister.
My name is Enid.
Enid? Now, let's see what I can squeeze out of you before the cops do. Brody was your husband's business partner, and you're,
You don't have to be subtle. He was mad about me. I'm all broken up about his death.
So was he.
That wasn't funny.
That time I deserved it.
You don't like me, do you?
Can't you get it through that steel-jacketed brain of yours that you're in bad trouble, that there's a dead man in the next room, beaten to death, and you're not supposed to be here?
Oh, I was supposed to be here. We were going to elope as soon as you brought back the money from that, Greek thing.
Yeah, what about that Greek thing?
It was an antique. It was called the Vaphio Cup.
Yes, I know about that.
Yes, well, my husband dug it up in Greece and smuggled it into the country.
Yeah?
It was all he had, but it was such an important piece that he was able to persuade Chet, the late Chester Brody, that is, to let him in as a full partner.
Then what?
Well, they quarreled. My husband made some bad investments, and Chet wanted to sell the cup to save the firm. Dmitri refused. I didn't think it was fair, so I got the keys to his safety deposit box where the cup was, and Chet arranged to sell it to the Commodore. Did you get the money from the Commodore?
All I got from the Commodore was lumps.
He stole the cup?
Roger.
You've got to get it back.
I've got it.
Where?
Here, take a look.
It's ruined. Where did you find it?
In a trash basket where it belongs.
Dmitri did it. He must have suspected something and substituted a fake. That's it. He knows where the real one is.
Somebody thought that your boyfriend knew.
The one that killed him?
That's the way it looks. And maybe that's the way it was meant to look. You know, somebody might get the idea that you palmed the genuine when you got it out of that safety deposit box.
If I did, it was legal, and don't you forget it. A wife can't steal from her husband. Legally, they're one person. You can't steal from yourself. That's the law.
I was wrong. You don't need a lawyer.
Will you help me?
I may hurt you, and it'll cost you anyway.
I know what's good for me. Money. Find that cup.
I know what's good for me, too, so I took her $100, advised her to go home, and made for my own humble lodging. They were not only humble, they were crowded. The man was small, but the gun was enormous. I said, don't bother to introduce yourself. Your name is Dmitri Theopolis, and you want this package that I'm carrying.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too, and mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Vaphio Cup Caper, tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
He didn't answer me, so I said it again. Don't bother to introduce yourself. Your name is Dmitri Theophilus, and you want this package that I'm carrying.
Of that be assured. You obtained this from my dear wife. And how did you find my darling?
Not at the city pound, surprisingly enough.
Oh, you know my dear wife. How soon you know my darling so well, more than I her husband? Is it possible?
I don't know, is it?
I don't know either. I employ a detective.
Not this one.
I have need. My poor partner, Mr. Brody. You are interested?
If you are interesting about who killed your partner, that's one thing. But if you want somebody to dig out your family secrets, that is nothing. With me, you are, shall we say, no place.
But why don't I get the right to know? There'll be no trouble, no scandal, no divorcement suing. Of that be assured. Even poor Chester is dead, so he's what one calls ancient history. While he lived, I knew nothing. I was blind. After he died, I see certain things.
Yeah, well, do you see that maybe your wife had a hand in Brody's death? What then?
Well, if it so happens that you cannot separate my darling from that, do you follow?
Not quite.
I'm not an old man,
Well, I wouldn't
but
say
my
that.
dear wife is but 22 and a truly lovely person.
Yeah, she's all right.
Would it not be the part of husbandly wisdom to have, shall I say, a hold over her?
If she's guilty, you won't need it.
Good. Please, I cannot hold the gun and handle my wallet at the same time. Please.
No, thanks. You keep the gun. I'll take the wallet.
Oh, you trust me. You will work for me.
Yeah, I'll work for anybody. Here, I left your cab fare.
Oh, assuredly, you are so very kind.
Oh, I'm not so
Now
kind.
the package, yes?
No.
Then I don't hesitate to suit you.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes?
This is the fake. You sure you want this?
Assuredly, yes.
A man has already been killed for it. Your life's a high price to pay for a fake, though fancy, tin cup.
You still think that's the price?
Brother, I know it.
Then you know I will kill you for it.
Okay, if it means that much to you, and I guess it does, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Please remain where you are. If you follow me, I will surely suit you.
From my front window, I watched them come out downstairs and start across the street. Then it happened. I saw the gun flash as it fired, and Theophilus slumped to the pavement. The package slid away from him into the gutter. I beat it down to him. He'd taken all 3 pellets in the midsection from close range. His pulse fluttered once or twice and then stopped. When I went to look for the package, it wasn't there. I called homicide and waited until they took him away. When I told Lieutenant Dundee what I had in mind, he congratulated me on my brilliant scheme and told me to go ahead with it. That was his mistake. I even talked him out of assigning any of his harness men to watch my building for the next couple of hours. That was my mistake. I went upstairs, opened the bottle, and waited for your knock on my door, Commodore.
Well, sir, a man would almost think you expected us. Keep a weather eye on him, Clarence. Don't let him get too lured.
Aye, sir.
Welcome aboard.
No time for scuttlebutt, Mr. Spade. We are bound for Bullylong Bali on the lookout for Maru, sailing at dawn. I want that cup. The true, the genuine, the Vaphio Cup. No more deceptions, no more trickery. You will hand it over without further delay.
Sure. Be glad to.
Oh, no, not like that. You will tell Clarence where it is stowed, and Clarence will fetch it above decks.
Why, you old barnacle. Theophilus never had his mitts on a genuine Vaphio Cup.
Bilge water, sir. When Theophilus landed in San Francisco, he didn't have a farthing. Now he owes $500,000. If he hadn't got the genuine cup, how could he have borrowed all that money?
Because a bunch of morons like you believed he had it.
Blast my binnacles, man. You sound as though you believed what you're saying.
Look, Commodore, you're interested in high finance. How did Ivor Kruger make his millions?
Why, matches. He was the match king, sir.
Matches had nothing to do with it, Commodore. He started out with $15 million worth of phony government bonds that he printed himself. Follow? They weren't even good counterfeits, but he was smart enough not to try and cash them. He just kept them in a safety deposit box and borrowed money. Theophilus used his phony Vaphio Cup the same way.
Blast my binnacles, man. You sound as though you believe what you're saying.
That has a familiar ring to it. I do. And I'll tell you why. He knew that was the fake in the package when he held me up for it. he was willing to risk his own life to get it out of circulation.
Dash my timbers. Old Theophilus has left us without a shot in the locker. You steered us onto the shoals. We're on our beam ends.
Hey, turn them off, Commodore. You're pumping bilge flush. We better haul our wind.
Yes, indeed. I'm afraid it's getting rather warm in San Francisco. Bully long beckons.
You won't make it past the potato patch.
What?
The cops are going to want some answers about a couple of stiffs you left behind in San Francisco.
I'm glad you reminded me.
Shall I plug him?
No. We are taking him with us.
Oh, that's what you think.
Take it easy, mate. This ain't gonna hurt a bit.
A reek of chloroform filled the room, and a fist pounded into my belly. It knocked my wind out, and at the same time, my nose collided with something wet and cold. I swung out, but didn't connect. Before I could swing again, the room blurred, and a ceiling light floated down to meet me. Then the lights went out altogether. At first, I couldn't figure it. It sounded like what a doctor hears through a stethoscope, or maybe an earthquake, or maybe ship engines, which it turned out to be. When the lights came on again, I was lying on a bunk in a stateroom. I staggered across to the wash basin and splashed water in my face.
Hello, you.
Enid, as I hardly live and breathe.
It could get worse.
Yeah, where are we?
Oh, not very far out. Not past the Farallon.
Good. I'm a stowaway, and they'll put me off with the pilot.
Oh, no, you're not. Your passage is paid.
Mine? It is, huh?
It is. Do you know who you are?
Who am I?
Chester Brody.
Then I'm dead. They'll bury me at sea.
Roger.
Who are you?
I'm your widow.
What's the score, widow?
Chester and I booked passage on this ship a week ago. It was part of the plan. Chester and the Commodore worked it all out.
Yeah, the cup was to have been stolen from me on the train.
Yes, but when the Commodore discovered it was a fake, everything fell to pieces.
Yeah, he thought Chester was double-crossing him.
They forced Chet to talk. He told them Dmitri still had the genuine Vaphio Cup and had hired you for the double cross. Maybe he really believed it. Anyway, they killed Dmitri.
Yeah, well, there's nothing on them yet. But you're a material witness, sweetheart, to at least one of the killings. That's extraditable. When that dawns on them, they'll scuttle you, too.
It's already dawned on them. I'm desperate.
Yes, I notice. For you, you're practically hysterical.
We have to face facts.
Yeah, well, give me a couple to face right now. Where are the Commodore and Clarence?
Up on the bridge.
Good. All you have to do is walk straight up to the captain. He'll put him under arrest.
Well, that might be a good idea, darling, only...
Only what?
Only the Commodore is the captain.
That tore it. Your salty talk had fooled me, Commodore. I never dreamed that you were really an old sea dog, and I do mean dog. But two can play at that game. From my own intimate knowledge of sea story magazines, I realized that all hands would be turned to on the cargo gear, and the crew quarters would be, therefore, empty. In more time than it takes to tell, Enid and I had fitted ourselves out in dungarees, jumpers, and watch caps, and turned to with them.
Anybody coming with gear out on the hill? You to hell, no! You there, stop walking out the bus behind there!
You two, look alive. Stow that preventer.
Oh, me? You may recall, Commodore, you may recall me as the man who ran for a fire extinguisher when the bosun yelled, stow the preventer. But experience is the best teacher, and by the time we hove to put the pilot over the side, things were in such a state of confusion that you had retreated to your cabin with a quadruple ration of grog. Seizing that moment, I threw Enid over the side, yelled, man overboard, and jumped in after her. Once safely aboard the pilot schooner, we revealed our true identity, and a merry laugh was enjoyed by all. It dropped us at the foot of Market, and we waved warm farewells to our erstwhile rescuers, then to the snug haven of my office in a friendly cup, if you'll pardon the expression, in the grateful warmth of a gas radiator.
Unhealthy.
Who, me?
Gas fumes. Why don't you move into a building with steam heat?
I like this building. Yeah, I've been here for a long time.
You don't make much money, do you?
You don't have to rub it in. It's a living.
You happy?
Sure I am, I guess.
Well, I guess it's all right then.
You know, sweetheart, there's something missing in you.
Oh, what?
Well, I don't know.
Then how do you know?
Forget it.
Well, I guess I'll go.
Do you mind if I don't see you to the door?
Why should I? What?
Hey, you are human. Yeah, they're wet. Go ahead, sweetheart. Cry all you want to. It's been tough. You shouldn't have kept it bottled up this long.
No, it's not what you think.
Well, what is it?
It's you. You're so nice.
I'm nice.
Yeah, but you're no place. You never will be. And neither will I.
And that, Commodore, is the cargo. It was nice seeing you again down at the hall. They tell me you and Clarence are both trying to turn state's evidence. But according to the late bulletins, Clarence was leading by a neck in the stretch. Get it? The DA was afraid the jury might not understand your salty talk. Period. End of sea chanty.
Oh, Sam.
Yes, what?
Oh, Sam.
Hmm?
Well, I just can't.
Oh, why can't you? Are you feeling okay, F?
Oh, Sam.
Hmm?
You betrayed your trust. You.
Effie, speak to me. What is it? What is it? I betrayed my trust. What?
Well, those criminals were on that boat.
Yes?
And you jumped overboard.
You feel that I was recalcitrant? Is that it? That my actions were not true blue, clear cut? Is that it?
Oh, I'll just go type this up, and I'm sure you can explain. I hope you can. I hope.
Sour racket.
Question. What's the easiest and best way there is to give your hair that well-groomed look? Answer, Wild Root Cream Oil. Yes, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil with soothing lanolin gives you the advantages considered most important in a hair tonic. It grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves annoying dryness, removes loose, ugly dandruff. Call at your drug or toilet goods counter tonight or first thing tomorrow for Wild Root Cream Oil. If you've never tried it before, get the generous new 25-cent bottle just introduced. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Oh, here it is, Sam. I hope the spelling is all right. I was so upset.
You hate me then?
Oh, no. No. I suppose it's foolish going along thinking that your ideal doesn't have feet of clay. Oh, Sam, I just can't. I just can't imagine.
Don't you think I can explain that?
Oh, yes, I'm sure you can explain. But you did. You deserted your post and jumped overboard like a thinking rat.
That's right.
Oh, Sam, that's so unlike you. It was just by chance they were apprehended.
By chance, you say? Who do you think it was that got himself shot out of a torpedo tube in that submarine?
You, Sam?
No, you think I'm crazy? I did something few radio detectives ever do, sweetheart. I called the Harbor Patrol single-handed using only one nickel and had them picked up.
Oh, Sam, I wish I'd been there.
Well, it was just a small phone booth. Besides, if you'd been there, it would have been out of order or something.
Oh, Sam, you came through after all.
Aren't you ashamed that you ever doubted me?
Yes, I am. I'm a fool.
There. I forgive you.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd. Musical direction is by Lud Gluskin with score composed by Renee Garrigang. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that You will have a tough time, Charlie, keeping all the gals away.
Hiya, Baldy.
Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Hey, it's me, Sammy the Spade.
Sam, it's not true, is it?
Every word of it. What?
That you've been consorting with unsavory characters?
Well, she was a savory enough girl, Effie, although a crook.
Well, according to the paper, she's practically a murderess. Not to mention that she's dancing the Roomba with you.
That's a lie.
There's a picture of you. Virginia Vale, gangland glamour girl, caught at the Club Iberia in barefoot Roomba with private eye.
It was not a Roomba. It was a bambuco.
Oh, Sam, not over the phone.
Boom, I can't stop it. Boom, 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 boom. Stay where you are. Boom, 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 boom. I'll be right down to dictate my report on the Lawless Caper. Boom, boom, boom.
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talents to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. Say, have you gotten acquainted with Wild Root Cream Oil yet? Tell you what, mister, if you haven't, even if you don't use any hair tonic at all, why not ask at your drug or toilet goods counter tonight or tomorrow for the brand new 25-cent Get Acquainted bottle of Wild Root Cream Oil. You like the way Wild Root Cream Oil grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose dandruff. You never dreamed one hair tonic could do so much. So give it a try. Get the generous new 25-cent bottle of Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in the adventures of Sam Spade.
I think I'm getting it now.
You even lost your shoes.
Ready, sweetheart?
Yes, Sam.
No questions?
No, Sam.
That picture in the paper doesn't mean a thing, Effie. There was nothing between Virginia and me.
Just wasn't room.
Well, that bambuco, you know, that's the way we dance it. Authentic.
Sam, I troubled to call my girlfriend, Edna Mae Schwartz, who is an instructor at Arthur Murray's.
Mm-hmm.
I quote, "The partners exchange graceful nods in the center of the dance floor and then separate.
Well,
As the senorita provocatively leads a pursuing caballero through a series of gay whirls, turns, and figures."
There, you see, provocative.
But he never catches her, Sam.
Well, I had my shoes off. That gave me the advantage.
You know best, Sam.
Well, that clears that up. Date?
August 29th.
I will give the date. Fill it in.
That still doesn't explain your operating on the wrong side of the law.
Down, Effie. This goes to John M. Lawless.
A known gangster.
What else? From Samuel Spade, license number 137596.
Boom.
Thank you, Effie. Subject, Joe Morales. Dear Johnny, you hired me yesterday morning, but the real start of it was back in 45. Flashback. San Francisco was just recovering from VJ Day, and crime was practically at a standstill because your number one competitor in the West Coast mobs had just been rubbed out, and you were on trial for same. Nothing about the trial made any sense. The tea-time chatter in the better pool rooms was that you were taking the rap for your worst enemy, Joe Morales. What made even less sense, the lawyer defending you was Joe's brother. So I wasn't a bit surprised to receive your check for $25, together with an invitation to be in the third row of the courtroom when the jury returned the verdict. I was.
The defendant will please rise. Step forward, please. Have you anything to say why judgment of this court should not be passed upon you?
Yeah. It's a bad beef.
The judgment of this court is that you, John Lawless, for the crime of manslaughter, having feloniously run over, and killed with a certain automobile the deceased person named in the indictment, and having subsequently departed the scene in violation of the hit-and-run statute, are hereby sentenced to a term of 3 to 10 years in the state prison of the state of California, San Quentin.
You didn't even look at the judge while he was dishing it out. Your eyes were on the man sitting directly in front of me. The man you were supposed to be taking the rap for. The man you had deliberately planted me behind, Joe Morales. I wondered what that meant. When the judge brought down his gavel, I found out. You came up the aisle with a deputy on one arm and your lawyer on the other. He seemed upset about something.
I'm sorry, Johnny. I did the best I could. They've given me the judge I asked for.
You passed on the jury, you cheap shyster.
Okay, just wait till you get my bill.
Shut up. Oh, wait a minute, Sheriff. I want to speak to a friend.
Okay, Johnny, hurry up. We got a train to catch.
Hey, you, Joe.
Yeah, Johnny?
I got just this to say to you. I'm going up, but I'm not staying, see? If I'm not paroled out in 3, I'll break out. Either way, I'll get you, even if it means a murder rap.
Oh, now listen, Johnny.
You heard me, Spade?
Yeah, Johnny. I wish I hadn't.
Come on, Johnny. We got to go.
Okay. Don't forget what I said, Joe. So long, Sam.
Good luck, Johnny.
Hey, Sally. Yeah, Joe? You hear what he said?
I know.
He's going to knock me. This guy's a witness. Name is Spade. Spade, my brother Sally.
Salvador Morales. You may have heard of me.
Yeah, if I'm ever up in a hit and run, remind me not to hire you.
Come along, Spade, where we can talk quietly. Just over here. My conference room.
Look, we got nothing to talk about.
Oh, yes, we have.
Watch it. I just got this suit pressed.
Yeah, right in here.
Sally, is it all over? How did it come out?
Where were you?
In here. I couldn't force myself to stay out there. What did he get?
3 to 10.
3 to 10, is that... Oh, I mean, how terrible. How terrible.
Best I could do. This is Sam Spade, my dear. Miss Virginia Vale, Johnny Lawless's fiancée.
The San Quentin widow.
Well, how's tricks, Virginia?
Why did they bring you here?
Maybe they know.
He's a witness.
Witness?
To a threat Johnny made against my brother's life. My own client.
What's funny?
Ask your brother. That threat would even get you a writ against him to keep the peace.
What do you mean, Sam?
Sweetheart, threats don't mean anything in law unless they're backed up by some action. Even if he told you the when, the where, and the how, it wouldn't be worth anything until you're dead.
But it would be worth something then?
Sure, shows premeditation.
Then if he knew he was overheard and you'd be forced to testify if anything happened to Joe...
Hey, beautiful. What are you trying to do to me?
Oh, I mean, he'd think twice before he tried anything. You'd be safe, Joe.
Well, honey, I didn't know you cared.
About you, I don't. I just wouldn't want Johnny to do anything foolish.
End of flashback. That was 3 years ago. A lot of big news has broken since then, but the only items that interested you in San Quentin were printed on the inside pages of the local press. Item: Virginia Vale, your fiancée, got herself engaged to Joe Morales, your worst enemy. And item: Salvador Sally Morales, your mouthpiece, had taken over your mob. Which brings us up to yesterday morning. Yeah?
That you, Sam?
Who's this?
Johnny Lawless, remember me?
No.
I was hoping you'd say that. Look, Sam, I got a job for you.
Call Peeper Breen. He may need it bad enough.
I've got no contacts in the mobs anymore. This is clean.
How clean?
A chance to save an innocent man from the gas chamber.
While
There's $1,000 in it for you.
Wait till I get a pencil. Now, what was the address?
The Alma Arms on Pine Street near Jones.
Yeah?
Buzz me 3 times. 1 long, 2 short. And make sure there's no one on your tail.
Got it. I was not tailed. I found your name on the bell panel, buzzed 1 long and 2 short, and the automatic lock clicked me in. You were waiting 1 flight up in the open door of your apartment. You didn't say anything, just made sure it was me, motioned me inside, locked the door, and led me back to a bedroom.
Well, there it is, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Joe Morales. Dead about 3 hours, I'd say. 4 slugs, chest, shoulder, and head. Looks like amateur work, a professional aims for the belly, or did you mean it to look like an amateur job?
Would I be sap enough to drop him in my own apartment? Besides, he's my lawyer's brother, and I might need Sally again.
Why did you call me?
Well, you heard what I said to Joe after the trial.
Who told you that, Virginia?
Yeah, but she didn't have to. Didn't I ask you to sit there?
Oh, that's one thing that worries me.
Look, let's go in the other room, huh? I feel like a drink. Well, here's my pitch, Sam. I checked out of San Quentin yesterday morning. I didn't have a mark against me. The warden himself put my case before the parole board. He called me the ideal prisoner.
Shall we dance?
Okay, Sam, okay, but a man can change a lot in 3 years. So can a woman. Virginia met me at the gate and we drove into the city. We didn't have a thing to say to each other. The way I felt by the time the ride was over, Joe could have her and welcome. I had other plans.
Such as?
Well, the parole board was getting me a job with a mining firm, a surveyor. I took a course up at Quentin.
You seriously expect me to swallow this line of guff?
Listen, you don't get fat making a living on the mace. Take half of these guys you hear telling the world what wonders they are at puffing boxes, knocking over joints, and the rest of the lays. Yeah, not half of them make 3 meals a day at it. Then what chance has a guy without a regular racket? And, brother, that's me.
I'll buy that for now. Let's talk about that dead body.
All right. Well, I called Joe on the phone this morning, see, and I told him to meet me here at 3 this afternoon. I wanted to tell him, forget about what I said about how I was going to get him. Not that I wanted to write off that rap I took for him. But if he was scared, he might come gunning for me. I might have to break parole to defend myself. About Virginia, like I told you, we got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, it was beautiful while it lasted. So he was due here at 3, huh?
Huh? Yeah. I was held up. As a matter of fact, I was with my lawyer at the time.
Sally?
Yeah, I phoned the building and told the superintendent to let Joe in, and then I got here about 4:15. But I didn't find him till just before 6 when I called you, Sam.
How come?
Well, I just didn't look in the bedroom. I figured he got tired waiting and left, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, look, Johnny, assuming your story is true, and if it isn't, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, who do you think did it?
Well, that depends on why. If it was somebody gunning for him, it would depend on what's going in the mob since I've been in Quentin. You know more about that than I do. If it was somebody trying to frame me...
What do you mean, trying?
Hey, wait a minute.
I got a phone homicide. You must have known that when you called me.
Yeah, that's why I ripped the wires out.
That's cute. That's very cute.
Oh,
that makes you look real good.
Look, Sam, look. I'm not asking you to do anything extracurricular. Sure, you have to yell cop, but you'll do it over a pay station downstairs. And by the time anybody can get back up here, that stiff will be out.
It will. Well, how's that going to be done?
I got a friend in the undertaking business. Met him up at Quentin. He just installed a new crematorium.
You should have called him first.
I did, but I can call him off.
You're stir-happy.
Look, Sam, how about it, huh? So the cops come in tonight, tomorrow. Who cares? Not Joe, the weather he'll keep. What do you say, Sam? What do you say?
I say you're probably bluffing, that you got no way of getting rid of the stiff, but on the outside chance that you might not be bluffing, I'll string along with you for a couple of hours. If I don't turn up anything by then, the deal is off.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but this isn't...
Hey!
Sorry, I got to do it. I hated to do it, Johnny. You were out of condition and you weren't expecting it. But I wanted you to look like a hospital case. After you went down and out, I transferred my fee from your wallet to mine, examined your wounds, and decided you were good for 2 hours at St. Agnes Hospital, where I know the head nurse. Incidentally, that reminds me. So without further delay, I toted you downstairs, threw you into a taxi, and delivered you to the ambulance entrance. That's when I remembered that I had forgotten one thing. I hadn't given you a chance to call off your alleged undertaker friend. I was sure that part of your story was bluff, but just to make sure, I rushed back to your apartment in less time than it takes the average undertaker to back his hearse out of the garage, I thought. When I got there, I wasn't so sure. The apartment had been tidied up, ashtrays emptied, glasses put away. They'd even vacuumed the rug. The blood-stained bedspread had been removed, and with it, the corpus delicti. I found myself humming an old tune. I ain't got no body.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. Now, here's important news on good grooming. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead, socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? The results were amazing. Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. Remember, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil contains lanolin. It grooms the hair naturally, relieves dryness, and removes loose, ugly dandruff. So if you want your hair to be more attractive than ever before, get the generous new 25-cent size of Wild Root Cream Oil, America's leading hair tonic, on sale at all drug and toilet goods counters. It's also available in larger economy bottles and the handy new tube. Get Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too, and mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Lawless Caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
In most murder cases, there are too many suspects, too many motives, and too many clues from the very beginning. I'd been on this one 3 hours, and I succeeded in turning up no suspects, no clues, and the most shameful thing of all, I had lost the body of the victim. I consoled myself with the thought that he was in no condition to tell me anything anyway. But then neither were you, Johnny. You'd checked out of the hospital, no forwarding address. But in a gin mill down in the Mission, I found a character with the unlikely name of Porky Grout. Porky is theoretically alive and will tell all he knows about anybody, which is plenty, for 2 fingers of rye. I gave him a handful. Easy.
Joe Morales mob.
Yeah.
They dusted this town. They moved to Las Vegas 5-6 months ago.
How come Joe stayed in San Francisco?
Oh, him and his brother had a beef with each other.
That's Sally Morales, the lawyer?
Yeah, the mouthpiece.
Not too close. What was it all about?
Oh, that dame, Virginia Vale. After she and Joe framed Johnny Lawless on that hit-and-run job, well, they disagreed on methods of administration.
Not so close.
No. So she and Sally team up. And Sally uses his business connections to pull off this big combine, you see?
Yeah, I heard of it, Las Vegas. How do I get to Sally?
My throat's dry. I can't hardly talk.
Hey, Riley, put out the bottle. And bring an airwick.
Yeah, that's right. Oop, it's a sloppy.
Easy. I'll help you. Great, huh? Great stuff. Not too close.
Now, when do you want to get to him? Tonight?
Right now.
Let me see. The dame don't dance to nothing but rumba music, and she don't drink nothing but imported French champagne.
Yeah.
Furthermore, she don't go nowhere where she don't get her picture taken. And he don't dare take a drink in a place that pays him protection. Well, this being after hours, there's only approximately one place they could be at. That's the Iberia out on Van Ness.
Yeah. Thank you and good night, Porky Grout. If your friends won't tell you, I will.
What?
Please don't bother to answer. I didn't have any trouble picking out their table. Virginia spotted me at about the same time, grabbed up her purse, muttered an excuse to her escort, and edged around the dance floor. She caught me in the middle of a bambuco, a combination of a rumba, a samba, and guaracha, and whirled me lightly out onto the floor. I followed as best I could.
Listen, Johnny, you shouldn't have come here.
How did I know our first dance would be a bambuco?
Oh, you danced divinely, but you must leave at once. Sally is insanely jealous, and he's in an especially bad mood tonight.
Yeah, so am I.
I know why you came.
You one up on me.
Johnny Lawless has been in touch with you, hasn't he?
You talked to him since yesterday morning?
No. He's bound to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
I don't know what story he's told you, but don't believe a word of it. He only wants to get you out of the way so he can get back at Joe. Still thinks Joe framed him into San Quentin.
Oh, you can stop worrying about Joe.
Huh? Sam, what are you...
He's dead, if that's news to you.
I think you'd better talk to Sally after all. Come on.
Well, just getting the hang of it.
Well, my dear, so you've met another old friend.
Hello, Sally.
Hello? Sit down, Spade.
Thanks.
Sally,
Huh?
Sam says Joe is dead.
Joe? Murdered?
Yeah.
Well, it was bound to happen. I warned him to get out of town before Johnny Lawless came back.
Johnny says he was with you when it happened.
Juries don't go for alibis, Spade. Best defense I could give him would be that I defend him despite the fact he's accused of killing my own brother. But look here. As his attorney, I have the right to know what he retained you for.
To find out who did kill Joe. That's what he said.
Have you found out?
Not yet.
Any leads?
Not many.
Now, what's the difficulty?
The corpse. Somebody swiped it.
You can't mean that.
I can, and I do.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Unless Johnny arranged it himself. But he couldn't have. No contacts. Of course, he might have disposed of it without help. It's been done, you know.
Not tonight. I'm his alibi there.
I don't believe it. You're just telling that story to see how we'll react.
That's why I'm telling it, but it's not a story. It's the McCoy.
Sally, what can it mean? If Johnny didn't do it, then somebody must have done it to frame him. And if they did that, they wouldn't turn around and get rid of the evidence, would they?
What? Well, the whole thing is wild. Wild.
You know, there might have been two people who thought they were a team, but one of them was really working against the other and for Johnny.
Huh?
Well, that's absurd, isn't it, Sally?
Is it, my dear?
He's trying to play us off against each other. Don't fall for it, Sally. I had nothing to do with any of it. You've got to believe that.
Yes, I was sure of you when Johnny was out of the way.
You wanted him out of the way, you admit it.
You're still in love with him, aren't you? Aren't you?
Alice, you're hurting me.
Hurting you? I'll help the DA write his brief. You'll go to Tehachapi for body snatching.
Go ahead. I can't wait to get on the stand. The things I'll tell about you, how you let Johnny go up on that hit and run when you knew it was my idea and I was in the car with Joe.
You will. Not a jury in the country would blame me for protecting my own brother.
Protecting him? You were framing him even then. So you can have me for yourself.
Oh, I'll have you in the gas chamber if you keep insisting.
Your own brother. Squeeze out of that one if you can.
I
How about
can.
the body?
Love of woman surpasses brotherly love. I can see the jury now, eating it up. Victim of a designing woman caught in the toilet.
Nuts. I don't care whether either of you is guilty or both or neither or whatever. If I get that body back tonight, I'll let the cops worry about it. If I don't, I'll confess to everything myself and name all three of you as accomplices.
All right, Spade. You say your only concern is that body?
Right.
Right. Here's $500. Another $500 when you find it, huh? Does that convince you?
Well, it helps.
Here, my diamonds. Take them all.
Now, keep the diamonds, Virginia. If Sally gets sent up first, you'll need them for your defense. Think it over, kids. I'm calling the cops right now. I think it's 1 foot back.
Homicide, Lieutenant Garrett.
Roy, Sam Spade. Where's Dundee?
Oh, he's asleep. Sam, I've been trying to reach you.
Yeah, but do you know why?
Why, sure, about Johnny Lawless. Is there something we don't know, Sam?
Well, I'll come down and give you a statement. It's about Joe Morales.
Well, what about him?
Well, he got knocked off, and somebody lifted the corpse.
Oh, Sam, nobody lifted it.
Then who did?
We picked it up, Sam, right after you called us.
Right after Oh, yeah. Yeah, what time was that?
Let's see, I got it here. 20 minutes past 6. Lose your watch?
That ain't all.
What's that, Sam?
Call you back. What's up, Sally?
Come out of there.
Well, I wasn't planning to spend the night in a phone booth. Why the heater?
It's for you, Sam.
You must be nuts pulling a gun in a crowded joint like this.
Hey, stop looking at it. Come on. Up those stairs.
Now, look, Sally.
In there.
Easy. Where's your girlfriend?
Well, I sent her home, Sam. She can't stand the sight of blood.
You clown.
Oh. You were pretty funny, too, when you made that phone call. I didn't believe you'd go through with it.
What makes you think I'm interested in that old rap? Johnny's already done the time for it. Joe can't talk, and I don't want to.
I don't care what you want. It's what I want. That's what counts.
Does it? You wanted Virginia? You got her.
Oh, not the point. Just doesn't sound good. Salvador Morales' sweetheart going up on a murder rap.
Well, you trimmed it down to manslaughter for Johnny Lawless, and she's enough prettier to rate an acquittal, or are we talking about the same killing? You think Virginia killed Joe Morales, don't you? Why? Because she seems so anxious to pin it on Johnny Lawless.
Well?
Well, nothing. Only I've got a score to settle with Johnny Lawless myself, you see. He left me out in a limb with that body snatch. If I can pin the killing on him, I got a story for the cops. Now, show how smart you are. Shoot me.
I fully intend to.
Now, look.
Hold it, Sally.
Hello, Johnny.
Hey,
You can do it yourself, Johnny. I was going to do it for you, but you can do it yourself.
I don't get it.
He's trying to pin that murder on you, Johnny.
Like you pinned that old hit and run on me?
But it's not the same, Johnny. Joe's killing is worth life if you're lucky.
I never had much luck.
Let him have it, Johnny. What have you got to lose? Well, you want me to?
No. Step back, Sally. Okay. He dead?
Yeah. You planned it different, didn't you, Johnny?
Yeah, but I might as well get two for the price of one. Yeah, I planned it different, but I don't seem to care anymore.
Well, then you won't need that.
Huh?
Sorry, Johnny. By the way, I'd like to thank you for keeping me in the clear.
How come?
That phone call you made the homicide using my name. Without that, I might be going up with you.
How'd you figure it?
Nobody but you had anything to gain by making that body seem to disappear. You knew I wouldn't check with the police till I'd made a try at locating it on my own. You knew I'd use the disappearance as a handle to shake what I could out of Sally and Virginia. You knew they'd suspect each other because I had you alibied for the time of the body snatch, and that would start them screaming accusations at each other.
Did they say enough to send them up?
Yeah, I don't know how much will stick, but enough.
They both admit Joe did that hit-and-run job I was sent up for?
He and Virginia together.
So she was with him. 3 years ago, I wouldn't have wanted to know that. Now it sounds good.
I didn't think it really sounded good to you. I was sorry to hear it myself, and after all, I'd only danced a bambuco with a mouse. I'm sorry things turned out the way they did, and it's a little late to be making with the advice, but, well, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men gang after Glade.
What?
And as you say, what chance has a man got without a regular racket? Period. End of report.
Well, heavens to Betsy.
Oh.
How can you be so sympathetic with a girl who did all those terrible things?
Oh, I know, F, I know. It's a silly dance, but she looked cute while she was doing it.
I don't mean the dance.
You mean the best laid plans?
What does that mean, Sam? That gang after Glade?
I'll give you a hint, sweetheart. It's something you never need worry about.
No.
Here's why, men. Here's why Wild Root Cream Oil is again and again the choice of men who put good grooming first. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally without giving it that plastered down look. Wild Root Cream Oil relieves annoying dryness and removes that loose, ugly dandruff. So if you're not using it now, or if you're not using any hair tonic, get Wild Root Cream Oil at your drug or toilet goods counter in the new 25-cent Get Acquainted size bottle. Also, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Well, here it is, Sam. My, terribly confusing.
I sensed that somehow.
Who was that hit-and-run victim?
Well, they named that dance after him, George L. Bambuco.
I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, what does it mean? What does it mean? You know.
Gang after Glade? Snafu.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Dialects yet. Good night, Sam.
Good night, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dow. Musical direction is by Lud Gluskin, with score composed by Renee Garrigang. Join us again next Sunday when author Dashiell Hammett and producer William Spear join forces for another adventure with Sam Spade. Brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with soothing lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie, keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
50,000 Americans die from tuberculosis every year. Yet tuberculosis is curable. the disease can be wiped out. The secret is discover it in its early stages. Why not be sure you and your family don't have tuberculosis by getting a chest X-ray right away? This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.